Welcome to Synthaholics. This is your host, David Duncan, and with me is...
Soft voice Brian.
Yes, we discovered that Brian shout was clipping. So
it was making it unhearable for everybody.
Yeah, it was like, Brian, in. So, yeah, we don't want that.
I'm a soft boy now.
Soft boy.
I'm a soft boy.
I'm a soft boy in a soft world. Life in plastic. Well, it's fantastic.
This is not supposed to be a Katy Perry parody podcast, okay? We're not supposed to be doing that. We're not supposed to sit here and make parodies of Katy Perry songs.
I don't think Barbie Girl is a Katy Perry song.
I thought it was that was her song, isn't it?
No, Barbie Girl. Barbie Girl is not.
Okay. I'm not up to snuff on my Barbie lore. I don't know my Barbie lore as good as I know some other things.
Don't know the Mattel Cinematic Universe?
Yeah, it's the Mattel Cinematic Universe. It's coming out soon. Apparently, that's our news for the week. We're announcing that we're going to be the leads in the Mattel universe.
Cinematic Universe?
Yeah, it's going to be a 25-part movie series. One coming out each month for the next couple of years.
Yeah, Barbie Girl's by Aqua, not by Katy Perry.
Oh, okay. I didn't grow up with those toys, so I don't know how they work.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's kind of how it goes. Speaking of news, since I like springing news on Brian out of nowhere, we spent the last 15 minutes thinking if anything new happened this week, and I couldn't think of anything. And as soon as I hit record, I thought of something.
Oh,
Babylon 5 is. I mentioned this yesterday on the stream. I don't know why I blinked on it, but Babylon 5 is coming back. It's being rebooted. It is a classic sci-fi show that aired around the same time as Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Also took place on a space station, and it was a really good show. The original creator, MSJ, is going to be coming back. I maybe messed up his initials, but he's coming back. Michael Shabinsky, or I can't remember which.
This is all you, man. This is all you.
It's all me. It's all me. But he is coming back. He wrote most of the episodes of the original show, and was the creator of the show. He's actually coming back to do the new show, so it will probably be more in line with his original vision, since things got pushed and moved around a little bit. He has confirmed that it will be more like Battlestar Galactica in terms of reboot, or it's not going to be the exact same story. It's going to be the same idea, but it's going to be going in different directions. So that'll be interesting and fun. And my only question is that it's going to be on the CW.
Oof. It'll be good for one season. You'll get one good season out of it.
Well, I mean, it's the original guy making it, so I mean, I would expect all seasons would be pretty good, because he's like I've learned a lot. It's been 20-something years since the original Babylon 5. The same guy, so I mean, he's got experience and stuff under his belt, and God, the CG will be so much better, because they were one of the first shows to use pretty much exclusively CG for all the space shots. So it was rough. That would have been rough. It was really early CG days, so just seeing it with a modern CG, a modern budget, and hopefully getting to pull out his original vision and kind of tweaking it a little bit, that'll be fantastic. I'm really excited about that, because I really enjoyed those space type sci-fi shows. So super pumped for Babylon 5.
I also just thought of some news. Some news that I won't be able to throw you off on this because you know about it, but Wheel of Time. There is, I'm gonna drop some knowledge on you that I don't know if you know or not yet. My favorite author, Brandon Sanderson, who writes the Cosmere series, is a screenwriter for the Wheel of Time, and he did a quick little interview, and he said there was one episode that's like a 10 out of 10. And then the rest of them, he said they're pretty solid and he thinks they're really good. He also said that it's one book per season right now. That's what they're doing. One book per season.
15 seasons confirmed?
It's not, well, no, it depends how the show's going to do. But he said from what he knows, they're going to be doing one book per season until they decide what to do moving forward. But he's pretty sure for at least season 1 and season 2, because they're already working on season 2 writing it. that it's going to be one book per season.
They already recast Matt Cawthon.
Yeah, so at least for season 1 and season 2, it's going to be one book per season. So the first 2 books will be the first 2 seasons, or the first 2 books will be the first 2 seasons.
Okay,
is that pans out? Right, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's exciting. I heard a long time ago that they were going to try to condense multiple books into one season, like half of the second book would be in the first season. So with only 8 episodes, I was like, that's kind of hard to believe. But that makes a lot more sense. If they're going to do one book per season, that would make me feel a lot better, especially considering these books are longer than The Expanse, and the first season and a half of Expanse just encompassed the first book.
Sure. Well, I mean, obviously they're gonna miss a lot of stuff because that's how books to movies or movies to the big screen or small screen work. You just lose a lot of details, but hopefully it works out.
Brian Sanderson wrote the last 2 or 3 books of the Wheel of Time because Robert Jordan died, right?
Yep, I am aware of that.
So now you've got to read the books.
Were the last 3 good?
They were really good, but I mean, like he based them off of Robert Jordan's manuscript and whatever, because he had it planned out basically, because it was only supposed to be one more book, and Brian Sanderson was like, yeah, there's too much here, I can't do it in one book, so he had to do it in like 2 or 3.
Man, that guy's a writing machine. That dude writes so many books so quick. It's insane.
And he also got the cadence of Robert Jordan. Like, I knew it was a different author writing the books, but I didn't feel like I was taken out of the way the books felt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it felt like it was still Robert Jordan, even though it was Brian Sanderson writing the book. So
now that we're getting in a little bit of Brandon Sanderson here, I just want to say something real quick about him. Yeah. He's got in the fantasy world books, he's already got the notoriety of a Tolkien or George R.R. Martin without having these big screen adaptations. I'm hoping that someday, if somehow he ends up having a screen adaptation of one of his main books that he has written, he's going to blow up just as big, because I think he's better than Tolkien. I think he's better than Tolkien. I said it.
Oh,
that's a hot take right there.
It's
a hot take. I think he's better. So he's already making waves in the fantasy world for books. And this is before he has any TV stuff going on or movie stuff going on. So prepare your butts for, I don't know, maybe 10 years down the road, he's going to be a huge name. Mark my words. Mark my words.
I mean, I saw an interview with him where they were asking him if he'd make new Wheel of Time, and I think he said he'd only do it if he was asked to.
Yeah.
I don't know, because the thing is, the series kind of ends on a cliffhanger, kind of.
Really? After 700 books, it ends on a cliffhanger?
Oh, I mean, something happens and it's different, and I'm like, oh, what is this? It's it could be a whole new series.
Well, you know what I mean? Just know if you end up getting more Wheel of Time books, they're going to be 2,000 pages long. Yes. All Brandon Sanderson books are 2,000 pages long.
Well, that's good. I mean,
so
fine with me.
I don't know if he's going to write them or not. I have no idea what I know he just finished a sci-fi book. I don't know anything about it, but I know he finished it. Anyway, that's my Brandon Sanderson speech.
Both just
I took that on behalf of him. He approved that speech before I gave it.
Oh, that's good. He proofread it and checked it.
Yeah, he proofread it. He proofread it from my brain.
Brian Sanderson's pretty amazing. He's just got a chip in your brain already. That's nice.
Yeah, he's pretty cool.
All right, so on to the main topic for today.
The main topic, we're talking about Venom, but it's not Venom 2. It's Venom something Carnage.
Rise of Carnage.
Yeah, that's it.
The rise.
It
should be the rise and fall of Carnage, because.
Well, yeah, the rise and fall of Carnage makes. Wow, you're just jumping right into the last 15 seconds of the movie.
Well, I mean, it's the best part of the movie, so.
It is the best part of the movie. Well, you know what? First of all, I don't know why this fascinates me so much. I know I've already brought this up to you. Well, Andy Serkis is the director of both of them, the first one and this one. Why? I don't understand. I don't know. It just seems weird. I don't know, man. I don't know. Help.
Help.
Why is that so interesting to me?
I was really sad not to see Smeagol in the films. I really wanted Smeagol to come finish, Carnage while Venom was pinned under some
finish him off. Just,
just
really
Smeagol
give it to him.
Yeah, just
bites him or something.
Bites his fingers off like one by one.
And then he would just grow him back because he's a giant tentacle monster.
But Smeagol would be he wouldn't be small and emaciated anymore. He might get some meat on those bones.
He might get some. He'll get some carnage in him. He'll get some
fingers to eat.
All right, so David, what do you rate this movie? Initial thoughts before we start diving in and either saying how good it is or how bad it is. I will inevitably say it's bad. So, what do you give it? What do you give it?
What number are you giving it first? Since you've already just said it's bad.
I think it's 50% of the way there. So I'll give it a 5 out of 10. But with that 5 out of 10, I say go see it.
I'm in the same boat. It's worth seeing if you like this stuff and to get the continuity. So that's the thing. Like with comic book movies nowadays, you pretty much have to watch them all, no matter how good or bad they are.
Yeah, to stay on top of what's going on.
Stay on top of what's going on. So it's like kind of worth like if you can wait till it comes on, like streaming or whatever.
I guess that's both our takeaways. Is wait till you can rent it.
Watch it, but wait till you can rent it. It's not great, although you should probably go see it in the movie theater because the tease needs this movie to make money so that we can get the next one. So actually go see this one in the movie theater.
What do you mean the tease? The ending credit scene?
After credit scene. So this movie needs to make money for the after credit scene to come to more fruition. So actually, yes, go see this movie in the movie theater so we can get what the promise of the sequels could be.
Is that a spoiler to your background right now? Oh my gosh.
Maybe.
What have you done? You're spoiling it with your background.
It's the best part of the movie. It's the only good part of the movie. And
I disagree.
No,
I disagree.
It's not the only good part of the movie. The movie, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10 because
that's low.
Yeah,
that's low for you.
The movie's only 90 minutes long.
It's a short movie,
but it felt like 3.5 hours.
And I know what you're going to say about pacing there.
Long. Yes, it was a pacing issue. This movie was a pacing nightmare. This was worse pacing than the Suicide Squad and the last couple movies I've complained about pacing. The pacing was absolutely miserable in this movie. Andy Serkis, don't ever take off your CG costume.
Don't take your suit off. How do you know he didn't direct in like a Gollum suit?
Oh, that would have been even.
Wait, oh my gosh! Breakthrough. He was like when he directed Venom, he would act like Gollum, and when he would would direct Carnage, he would act like Smeagol.
Yeah,
that's how he did it.
It hurts.
It seems like to me that a lot of this movie there was things cut out because
the movie has some really good parts, just like the Suicide Squad. The Suicide Squad had some really good parts in it, and it was entertaining at parts. But all the parts that connect those parts together made the movie drag.
Well, it made it drag because we all knew going in. Before, I didn't watch any trailers for this movie. I had no idea what was going on, except the name pretty much said what the movie is. That it was going to be Venom and Carnage were going to have to fight. But they did not know how to get to that ending point of Venom and Carnage fighting. So they kind of just like Venom goes to like a rave. And it's not even Tom Hardy's not even with him. It's Venom going to the rave. Like, I don't know why that felt like that was, they didn't know what to do. It seemed like to me they didn't know what to do, and stuff got cut out because somebody told them the movie has to be shorter. What do we cut things out?
Well, like Andy Serkis, I've read an interview with him. Like he wanted to have a scene where Venom comes out or whatever. Like it was very like supposed to be a big pro LGBTQ plus scene, and I'm like,
wait, really? I didn't get that at all.
I read about it beforehand. I mean, like, so like I was scared to be pandery after reading the article. It didn't seem pandery. It just seemed like he went to a rave. I mean, like,
yeah, I
guess
didn't see that. I wouldn't have. No, I didn't notice anything. It just seemed like a rave where people are dressing up as like cosplay, like Halloween character type things going on.
The way Andy Serkis talked about it in the interview I read, he made it sound like it was supposed to be like a LGBTQ plus like underground thing, and that's why Venom was saying like we should all be able to be who we are, and in the on the spinning ball of rock or whatever, you know.
Well, yeah, but like where could Venom not go and say that, and people would be like, I disagree.
I don't.
He could go anywhere and say that was like 8 words, and everybody'd be like, "Yeah, I agree."
Well, I mean, like it was I don't know. It was fine. It wasn't as pandery as I thought, but it was kind of weird, especially when the girl's like, "I love you," and he's like, "I don't swing that way" or whatever, and I'm like, "You really like Eddie Brock's girl like, a lot?"
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. It was, I don't know. It mixed messaging to me a little bit. I don't know. It was kind of odd.
Well, before we get ahead of ourselves here, because we're already farther than where I wanted to start, was the first Tom Hardy. I gotta talk about Tom Hardy for a second. Every time I see Tom Hardy in a movie, I'm worried I'm not going to be able to understand him. And I will say that this is the first movie I am confident I could understand Tom Hardy.
You can understand what Tom Hardy is saying.
You know,
can you?
I
understand what Tom Hardy is saying.
Yeah, Bane. He's hard to understand, Bane. He's a very difficult man to understand.
Hard to understand, Emma. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, because you're not Tom Hardy.
I'm not Tom Hardy. You're Tom Hardy.
But I've brought this up before, and it was like, oh, you just can't understand the accent. No, that's not it. I can understand an English accent just as well as any other person can understand an English accent or a UK accent. But Tom Hardy, he's got something else going on. There's like something else going on with his like throat or something. I don't know what's going on. He has difficulty speaking. But now that I got my Tom Hardy rant out of the way, now I want to go on to the first Venom movie. Venom, at the end of the first movie, when they were talking to Tom Hardy, they were like, we're going to go get all the bad guys. They were walking down the street and they're like, we're going to eat all the bad guys. We're going to kill all the bad guys. We're going to do all those things with the bad guys. Get rid of them all. And then the first, like, I'm not even going to say first. A majority of this movie is the opposite of that. It is mostly Venom and Tom Hardy or Eddie Brock having, like, needing emotional support counseling because Venom wants to eat people. And Tom Hardy or Eddie Brock doesn't want him to eat people. It's like it was like a domestic abuse speed run. How fast could they get there? Like that, it was immediate for the entire for almost, I'd say 80% of the movie. It was just a domestic abuse.
Yeah,
between both of them.
Yeah, it kind of was. It was kind of odd. And you know, he's making them eat chickens and chocolate because that's what the place we get the chemical from.
Yeah, there's something in a brain. There's some chemical in your brain or in any brain and in chocolate and something else. There was something else he was eating because he couldn't eat brains. Was it chickens? Because it's chicken brain.
Chicken brains, yeah.
Okay, so there's something in brains and chocolate that you can eat and it would satisfy the symbiote. But that being said,
well, apparently he had, eaten brains in between, and he just didn't want to get caught and put in jail. So they reference things, and then he put him on the chicken diet.
He got put on the chicken diet. He did get put on the chicken diet because they don't want to get caught that he's actually Venom or whatever. Mm-hmm. Now, the real thing that I have, I want to say is Tom Hardy's acting. Like Tom Hardy he's a pretty good actor in the first place. Mm-hmm. But this movie, just think, when I was watching it, he's standing in a room acting and he's yelling at nothing because Venom is in his head, so nobody else can hear him. So when Tom Hardy's yelling, and he does a really good job of like just yelling at nothing because he can't hear the voices. He can't hear the Venom voice as he's acting. So he just has to like know what Venom's going to say back to him. I thought that was super impressive. I was impressed by Tom Hardy in that.
I mean, not necessarily. I mean, people aren't mic'd. I mean, they use the boom microphones to record people. Sometimes they could ADR him afterwards. So, I mean, they could be Andy Serkis just reading the lines off the set.
Oh, I guess that could be true. Either way, I thought it was a good performance from him. I was thoroughly enjoyed by Tom Hardy being Eddie Brock. That's
He had a good performance. A lot of this stuff was really slapstick, which there's a little bit of slapstick in the first movie.
Yeah.
But they went almost over the top with the slapstick in this one because they dropped the rating from R to PG-13. So they just went like super overboard with like all the slapstick stuff. And
they were trying to be like a Marvel movie without being a Marvel movie. With trying to be a rated R, like trying to be a rated R but not rated R Marvel movie.
Yeah, it was weird because the first one was rated R and like it could have been PG-13 probably.
I mean, this movie was was PG-13.
No, the first one I think was rated R. I think.
Oh, I'm not going to quote you on that because I am standing away from this conversation because I don't know the answer to it and I don't want to be held responsible for giving wrong information.
Yeah, I mean, I want to say the first one was rated R, but maybe it wasn't. Venom. I don't know. I like his girlfriend, Eddie Brock's girlfriend, and like she was an interesting character, and the symbiote like I can join with her just fine, and I feel like my wife was saying in the movie, like after it was over, she's like, I wish they would get back together and the symbiote Venom would just jump between the two of them and then they could like both run around doing different things together. That would be a really cool, like a joint custody of Venom type thing where they just
that would be up to Venom. It's not like a joint custody thing. Venom has his own ideas of what he wants to do.
Oh, but Venom really likes her, so I think Venom would be like. True. I think Venom would be totally cool with it. I think
get away from. I'm getting off Eddie. I'm going on to her.
Yeah. I think that would be like a thing Venom would be all for. So the fact that like she's barely in the movie this time, again, the runtime's only 90 minutes. So I mean, I understand why she's not in the movie a lot, but for a movie that feels like it's 3 hours long, it feels like we didn't see much of her.
Yeah.
I enjoy her character, and she was just not in this movie very, very much. And they spent a lot of time building up Lucius Crane or whatever his name was, who becomes Carnage, and his girlfriend. There's a lot of time spent on them, and I kind of didn't care.
No, well, it's like so normally in serial killer. Well, normally when a serial killer is in a movie, they're a super likable character because serial killers have like, you know, those personality traits that they're able to like sway people's opinions and stuff, which is why they become so popular.
But Woody Harrelson was super unlikable.
Well, see, here's the thing. Normally, like you'll see these quotes. I've watched like Elijah Wood just came out with a movie where he was the best friend of Ted Bundy. I don't remember the name of the cop or the name of the movie. And you know, Ted Bundy's throwing out all these quotes to give to Elijah Wood's character. And they're all like, oh, dang, like he's serious. He knows what's going on. And it's like this one, they're like, Cassidy is giving quotes that are like, you and me are like a toilet, but like, you're going to be the poo that gets flushed down the toilet and the water that'll continue to be around. It's like, okay, dude, like nice quote, but like, that sounds awful compared to like some of these other serial killer quotes. So I didn't like him in the first place, even though I think for the most part in serial killer movies, they make the serial killers likable. That's my take.
Usually they are likable people.
Yeah, in movies and out of movies. Normally they are likable people.
Well, in real life, most people who knew the serial killer and weren't murdered by them, like, oh, that person would never do that. Because I mean, they're like likable and they're relatable, or they're quiet and like reserved and don't do anything unexpected, like supposedly. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So they're either the life of the party and really fun people, or they're really quiet and really meek and they don't really do much. So like, that's why most people don't suspect serial killers, because they're either super likable or they're just too meek to even be.
And he suffered from just bad writing, I think. I mean, sure, every time you see like some absolute psychopath, they're always like drawing stuff on the wall. Like try to name a movie where like the psychopath serial killer man isn't like drawing like some heart on the wall in his jail cell. They all do that. That's too common and I'm tired of it. You got to like differentiate them from other people, and they just didn't do that. He's just kind of a weak character. He hasn't really no motivation except to get back with his wife. That is like the complete like worst person to be with if he wants to be with Carnage. Like that. I don't even. Did you even know anything like Carnage's love interest? Now, when I was growing up,
absolutely
my entire life, like I remember there used to be a Marvel like trading card game, and Carnage. There was a Carnage card, and this was when I was first introduced to Carnage. I must have been like 5 years old, and I was like, "Dang!" Like that. I was scared of that card. Like I had nightmares of that card because Carnage is such like he's such like a just like a psychopath. Like kill anything, crazy, looks scary, everything's scary about him. So your entire life, I'm led to believe that Carnage is supposed to be this terrifying character. Well, actually, he is this like terrifying character.
Yeah.
Now I'm kind of branching off and going into why it's not rated R, and it should be rated R. But I never knew anything about Carnage's love life. I thought it was just like he's just like Carnage. I don't know. That's what I got from that.
I don't know anything about the character who was Carnage either. I never really like followed the comics.
We're all aware of Carnage. We just don't understand how anything about him. Well, except in my like background here, there's one part where I was laughing where Carnage goes Cassidy goes to like some like old ass laptop and he's like, do the internets, and then Carnage just like does his tentacle things, puts them in like the USB port and the power port, and then he just like brings up exactly what he needs. Yeah. And I knew that because I've seen this picture before of where that exact thing happens, and it's supposed to be comedic. It was, and I'm glad that was put in the movie because this is all the Carnage comics I know about, and I'm glad the one thing I know they put into the movie.
They put it. Oh, they stayed true to the comics at least in that aspect.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like I think my biggest complaint about Carnage, the way he looks overall, he wasn't nearly saturated enough red. He almost looked brown.
Okay, I mean, I see where you're coming from, but like he's definitely
because Venom's got that beautiful shiny sheen of black.
Whoa, what's going on? Are you attracted to Venom? What's going on there? You're just like shiny sheen.
Well, he looks so slick and slippery, but like whatever Carnage is on him, he looks dried out and withery instead of that sleek red. Like in the comics, he's
bright
always
red.
He's always so vibrant.
He's a bright red. We can see it. We can see here. He's bright red in the comics. Where is he? Right here. I mean, there's some red going on. I mean, it's red. Yeah, it's red. Really it's not red. Brown red.
And it's like he was like brown red in the movie. His color was underwhelming. Like I really wanted to see like the shiny red with the shiny black and there was some really cool shots like in the cathedral whenever.
Well, that was the best part. That was the best part of the movie.
Yeah, Carnage
was the cathedral part.
Well, it's when they finally got to fight. Like both the movies, Venom 1 and Venom 2, they take their time, a lot of time getting to the good parts.
Well, the entire movie, except for the end of the movie, is the emotional counseling that Venom and Eddie Brock have to have. That's the entire of the movie. And I'm not saying that. The only reason I'm saying wait for or go see this movie when you can rent it or whatever is because of the relationship that Venom and Eddie Brock have. When I don't know much about Venom. I know a lot about Spider-Man. I don't know anything about Venom. But with Venom, I didn't know, like, is he supposed to be, like, a likable character? I liked Venom. Venom was cool. He was funny. Well, I don't know if he's like that.
Venom's, like, the bad guy. But Venom does have his own line of comics. So
yeah.
he eventually becomes not the bad guy, or he's an anti-hero?
I think they're trying to move him towards an anti-hero, because I always thought that Venom is, like, not a good dude. He's not, like, he's not supposed to be funny.
To Spider-Man, he's not a good dude, but, like, maybe they're gonna make him a good guy and he is technically the good guy of the movie, and he's funny and he's likable. Like, Venom is the most likable person in the movie.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. Venom is a likable character. There is no way around that. They are trying to make Venom they're trying to make you like Venom. And they do a good job because it worked.
Yeah.
They broke me. I like him.
I like Venom a lot.
Yeah. I said it. I like Venom. I like it. I swear.
I also like it when Venom is on Eddie Brock's girlfriend, because like the sleek female looking Venom was like, wow, that's kind of cool looking. I want to see more of that.
Man, you are into Venom, aren't you?
Oh yeah, I'm a Venom sexual, or whatever you want to.
You got a Venom kink.
Symbiosexual, right? What's it? No.
You're symbiosexual. Did you just come up with that? That is fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. It's right now.
Symbiosexual.
Symbiosexual.
That's fantastic. I love that. Now, I do want to talk about a little bit about the jail scene when Cassidy initially discovers that he's Carnage or he has Carnage in him.
Yeah.
So, one, Cassidy is a crazy guy. We all get this. He's a crazy dude. Mm-hmm. But like you would think like he's not ready. Like no human could be ready for just like Carnage appearing inside you. Like he was just like totally cool with it. He was just like, yeah, this is fine. I don't know anything about what's going on, but like having Carnage in me, not a problem. Is he just like, he can't be, nobody's that messed up where they're just like, what, like not even going to question it. They're just like, yeah, this is expected. And leading on to that, they immediately started fighting. I would imagine that was mostly Carnage just going around killing everybody in the jail scene where he's just like going around. Now, this is where the movie suffered from being PG-13. Carnage is running around in this jail super fast, super sleek, and he's just like got these a billion hentai tentacle things going all over the place, and he's just stabbing people, kicking people, cutting people's heads off, but it's all like done like off screen. It's like he'll like turn his foot into tornado. Yeah. Oh yeah, we got to talk about that too. He like just turns his foot into like a knife and he just like kicks somebody so hard that they like fly off screen and like presumably like just get cut in half from the power that he put into that kick. But they don't show any of this stuff because it's PG-13. Now, if we could lead on to that tornado, for some reason, Carnage makes a tornado inside the jail, which was like super confusing. Is it because he had so many tentacles around him, he was able just to create so much mass that he could just like create a tornado?
No, but where's all that dirt coming from? I know jails aren't the cleanest place in the world, but that's a lot of dirt.
I mean, it looks straight up like a tornado. It was like he straight up made a tornado in like if you go to Kansas in Tornado Alley, you'll see exactly like you look at that and then you look at the jail thing. You're like, dang, Carnage. There's a lot going on. Is that Carnage in Kansas?
Carnage is hanging out in Kansas. Absolutely.
He's all the tornadoes.
It's just Carnage. It's always been Carnage. Always will be Carnage.
It's always Carnage. Every tornado you see now is going to be Carnage.
Tornadoes are fake. They're turning the frogs gay.
Tornadoes are fake. Good old Alex Jones. I hope he's doing okay. I don't know anything like, I don't know if should I wish he's doing okay? I mean, I don't want him to like die, but like he's kind of like a weird dude.
It's generally good to not wish ill upon people.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with him, but
he gets the help he needs to make himself stable mentally.
Oh man, I think he's gone. He's Carnage. He is Carnage.
Oh no.
He is the Carnage. Now, if we go a little bit farther into the movie, not long after, I want to talk about Cassidy's girlfriend for a second. This could totally be a relevant thing in the comics, but it doesn't seem to make sense to me that like his girlfriend who they marry in the same movie or whatever, after they haven't seen each other for like 40 years, they just immediately get married. And she has like a superpower that's like not explained like at all. Like not at all.
Is she like a reject X-Men?
Yeah, that was my thought.
The thing I got at the beginning made it sound like, oh, they're sending her off as a place with other people like her. I'm like, oh, she's going to Xavier's school or whatever. I'm like, no, she's in some other kind of like
Ravencroft,
like some kind of like asylum for
but like nobody. It was just her.
No one else with powers has been established in the movie except her.
Yeah,
which is really weird.
It was just her that had powers, which was kind of confusing. And, her powers were the exact powers needed
to fight Venom or
Carnage, which makes me think that she's not a real character in the comics because it was too perfect. Like her powers, her yelling and apparently fire, that I didn't know fire was a problem, but yell or making loud noises is what makes Venom and Carnage die or get weak or whatever. And her power is screaming. Her power is screaming very loudly. Same as like Siren.
At the very beginning of the movie, like 5 minutes in, they show her screaming power. I'm like, oh well, this is going to be a problem.
Yeah, exactly. You already knew it was coming because it's like her kryptonite, or she is the kryptonite to Carnage and Venom, which I don't know. I didn't really like that part too much, but
yeah,
which leads
like
to the fight.
The problem with her as a character is that it takes away from Woody Harrelson's character and Carnage as a character, and like that's where the movie suffers. Like he isn't a fleshed out enough character to care one way or the other about him. They establish he's a serial killer, so you're not supposed to like him, and then they kind of just don't really care about that. And he's trying to get back to his girlfriend / future wife or whatever. But like I don't know, it would have been more fun if they humanized him a little bit more, or did something to like
make Cassidy more humanized.
Yeah, or do something like with him. I mean, like his like flashback was like stick figures of like his grandma and his mom dying. Like it was
that because he killed them.
Yeah, he killed them. Like it was. I don't know,
like, it was like a stick figure animation of him killing his grandma and his mom. He killed his grandma by throwing her down the stairs.
And he put his hair dryer in his mom's
put a hair dryer in the bathtub.
Yeah, it was bizarre.
And that was it. After that, he was insane. He had to be locked up.
And he was locked up. And I'm like, I thought he was a serial killer. Where are all these bodies? When did he have time? It looked like he was in jail the entire time. When did he kill all these people?
Yeah, from when he was a kid. And then when again they showed him as an adult, he was in jail in both times, and he was not escaping either one of them. The other one, like you could see him banging on everything, and he just was not getting out.
Yeah, because he's a kid.
He didn't break out, and then they show him later in a jail.
When was he a serial killer? 2 people does not make you a serial killer. I think you got to kill like.
All right, don't devolve your information here. You're gonna end up being a serial. You're gonna be put on a watch list.
You have to kill more than 2 people to become a serial killer. I listen to a lot of last podcasts on the left. They talk about serial killers. Like, there's a specific body count you need to hit before you are classified as serial killer. 2 is not that number.
Well, apparently he was killing people because he breaks the story that Eddie Brock finds where all the dead bodies are, or whatever the heck he's talking about. And Eddie becomes the hero.
When did he?
They didn't show any of the dead bodies because it's PG-13.
When did he kill anybody other than his mother and grandmother? He wouldn't hid them. He wouldn't hid their bodies, and that's what they were looking for.
Oh wait, those were the 2 bodies they found?
I don't know. They didn't explain anything.
It was not explained.
They didn't go into the serial killer stuff. If they would have leaned hard to the serial killer stuff, that could have been interesting. But they just gloss over it.
Well, because they need to get back to Venom and Eddie Brock. Because they're the funny ones. Yeah, they're the ones people want to see.
They're the funny ones, yeah.
I can think of a lot of jokes that Venom said, but I as spoilerly as we are, I don't want to spoil everything because I think just enjoying Venom and Eddie Brock.
Go for the jokes, because the movie is funny.
Go for the jokes because we're spoiling everything else.
Yeah, go for the jokes. Yeah, the movie is funny. The movie has its funny parts, and like almost like, did you see Blade 3?
Yeah,
I hated Blade 3 because it was a fucking comedy.
Yeah, well, I mean
it was so funny. Blade 3 was so blatantly funny. It was.
Yeah, they were probably
Ryan Reynolds was totally being Ryan Reynolds and totally being hilarious. Like even Blade did some things that were really funny, and it just took me out of the movie. This is supposed to be a rated R. Actually, the third one may not have been rated R, but the first 2 were. It was supposed to be like a hard R, vampire killing, violent action movie, and like it was a comedy. I was laughing. I laughed so much it made me disenjoy the movie. And this one isn't quite that bad, but it's still pretty funny.
It is funny. The first one was the first one wasn't as funny. This one was definitely more funny because it was more interactions with those 2.
Into the slapstick in this one. Like it was almost
which leads me to this. I have a final point I want to get to before we get into your background there. But I want to talk about just the Carnage and Venom fight for a little bit here because of Eddie Brock's love interest's husband, fiance, whatever the heck. I don't know what his name was. Was his name Tom? I feel like his name was Tom. Am I getting Tom because Tom Holland plays Spider-Man and I'm looking at him right now?
Bill or Bob or something? It was like
okay.
No one likes
generic white man name. It was a white man generic name.
It was a 3-letter name.
Yeah,
one of the generic ones.
He's driving. The last thing they show him is driving, and out of nowhere, when Venom and Carnage finally get into it, I do want to spoil one little joke here that I got a kick out of. Was Eddie was trying to get Venom to fight, and he finally gets him out to fight, and he's like, "Okay, fine, I'm ready to fight." And we can't fight him because he's red. He's red. He's one of the red ones. We can't fight the red ones. We're gonna die. I'm ready to die.
That pissed me off so much. I really wish Venom would have explained why him being red made him strong or something.
Yeah, because Venom knew what red. He knew what Carnage was before anybody else knew. He knows about Carnage.
But he didn't tell us about what
he didn't know. He didn't tell us anything.
We don't know anything about why he's more powerful. Like the only thing the movie gives us is that Carnage has had some brains, so he's more powered. He's more powered up than Venom is.
That was the most Marvel joke in there. Was powered up now. after he ate the priest head.
What about the father joke?
What father joke?
The Carnage of the father joke's like, I'm going to end you now, father. And then he's like, not you, father. You, father.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's, yeah. All right. So we're spoiling some of the jokes at the end of the movie.
Oh, no.
Really just go for the first hour. After the first hour of the movie, unless you're interested into a fight.
Go for the post-credit scene.
Yeah, go for that. But getting back to Bill, Bob, Tom, whatever the heck his name is, the love interest of Eddie, if that makes sense. The love interest.
The love triangle. Actually,
the love triangle.
Love square, because Venom is definitely into her.
Venom is there. He does love everybody equally. No, at the end he does say he loves Tom Whiteman.
Yeah,
he does say he loves him.
I've got tables for everyone.
Did he say that? He didn't say that. There's no way he said that.
I'm saying that because they're all symbiote sexuals.
You are in pegging distance. Anyway,
I can peg from very far away.
I can peg from very far away. Anyway, okay, I've been trying to get this out for like 5 minutes now. Generic white man driving. We don't see him anymore, and I thought that was the end of his arc. Apparently, he just appears at the top of the cathedral, very high up in the building, and he just starts pouring like gas
in a lighter
on top of Carnage. First of all, where did he get all this gas? Second of all, where did he get this blowtorch? And third of all, how did he bypass Venom, Eddie Brock, Cassidy's wife, the police, Carnage, and did I say the priest? And the priest,
yeah, and the priest.
and the girl love interest to get to the top of the cathedral to start pouring.
She was in a coffin, so she
couldn't see. She was blind to this. But then on top of getting through all these hurdles, getting to the top of the cathedral, Carnage just happens.
Carnage.
Yeah, Carnage just happens to fall exactly where he needs him to be to start pouring this stuff on him, and he's very high up. So like pouring this gas takes like 5 seconds for it to like hit the ground because he's so high up. So Carnage like just happens to fall and stand there for like 5 seconds as Carnage is moving around. He's fast. Carnage is all over the place. He's a quick dude. Or girl, I don't know what Carnage is. He's neither. He's like Suicune in Pokemon. They don't have a gender. But they just start pouring gas on him, and it kind of is a mild inconvenience, and that bothered me because it ultimately did nothing.
I mean, even Venom says like he was a mild inconvenience at best.
Yeah, nothing like really happened there.
He's like he was actually a mild hindrance. He wasn't even help.
It was a mild hindrance.
Like he was.
Yeah, he does say that. He does say that.
He was there for the Venom to make a joke about it. That's the only reason why.
Venom did make a joke. He was a mild inconvenience at best.
Yeah, so that part was there only for Venom to make a joke.
Now, moving on towards...
I don't know how he has teleporting powers.
He does have teleporting powers, apparently. He does. Moving on...
Mr. Fantastic.
Oh, dang. Wait. No, that doesn't make sense. He was a doctor. He's not a scientist. I thought you were onto something there for a second. I was like, wait, hold on. That doesn't line up at all.
Tomato.
All right, so as Venom and Carnage are just battling and duking it out, Venom gets bested because he knew that Carnage was way stronger than him. And Carnage starts going to the top of the cathedral. And Venom eventually hobbles his way up to the top of the cathedral. And they end the fight there. You know, Carnage just like dies. Apparently, he just kind of like dies. I don't remember exactly how he died. Did she yell at him? I think she just yelled at him.
There's some yelling, another sound, and then...
I think a bunch of sound just like kind of ended him.
Venom eats the symbiote.
Yeah. The symbiote falls off of Cassidy, and Venom just eats it, and he says it doesn't taste good. But
yummy.
There's one part here where we're missing. We're forgetting about what happened to the policeman here, the detective.
Oh yeah, the policeman. He opens up his eyes and they're blue.
Yeah, what does that mean?
Someone thinks it means that I was watching videos after the movie about the movie. Some people think it's toxic. Carnage.
I don't know who that is.
That's Carnage's offspring. Not how Carnage was able to have an offspring.
Wait, so Venom's offspring is Carnage, and then Carnage's offspring is Toxin?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Cool.
Some people think that the police officer's got to be Toxin.
Well, I guess we'll have to find out in Venom 3 if they make one.
If they make a Venom 3? We'll just
I don't know.
go see the movie so we can get answers to these questions, because the questions are more interesting than the movie, unfortunately.
I really am more now we're really getting towards the end of the movie here. I'm more interested in Venom. Since they made me like Venom, I want to know about Venom. Like, tell me about Venom. And at the end of the movie, Tom Hardy's laying on a bed.
They were about to tell us about Venom.
Tom Hardy is laying on a bed, and Tom Hardy asks, or Hattie Brock asks, he's like, what about you? Like, you know everything about me or something, and I don't know anything about you being a symbiote or anything. He's like, I have trillions of years of existence with symbiotes. Let me give you just a fraction. And just as soon as we start to, I'm like, oh, cool. This could be like, we're going to see some like flying through space. We're going to see like symbiote planet or something. No, the whole thing turns into like an orangish like light that resembles a certain character in the Avengers known as Stephen Strange. And they're transported to where the MCU universe, I think it's Earth 22. I think that's where all the, the Marvel movies that we know take place. I could be wrong. I'm giving wrong information. I apologize if that is incorrect. But they're put into the MCU universe at the end of the movie, and Tom Holland's Spider-Man is on screen. Now, time for speculation time. Are you ready for speculation time here?
Absolutely.
Are you ready? Mm-hmm. Venom points at the screen and he says, I want that one. I want that one. I want to eat that one. No reason behind it. He's just like, I want to eat it, other than, that's like a villain.
I don't think he says I want to eat him. He's like,
does he say I know that guy?
I think I know that guy. Yeah.
Okay. Well, whatever the case is, this is where I'm going to start having problems here. So we've seen the Spider-Man trailer, the newest Spider-Man trailer that's coming out. What is it? 2 months from now that's coming out.
December. Yeah, I think.
Apparently every villain that Spider-Man's ever faced in a movie is going to be in the movie. I don't know. Well, I say that with a grain of salt, just from what we've seen from the trailer. We know like Green Goblin.
We know Green Goblin, Doc Ock, and Mysterio. No, not Mysterio. Electro. I think those three.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a couple more. There's some speculations in there that Daredevil's in there, and he's the lawyer. They show him as a lawyer. I don't know if that's true or not, but now they're obviously adding Venom into that list, which makes me kind of worried about like, how the heck are they going to, do the Spider-Man movie? Now it's Marvel, and we should just expect Marvel will be able to figure it out, because most Marvel movies are acceptable at worst. But what worries me the most is that this movie, the Spider-Man movie that's going to be coming out, has a lot going on in it. Mm-hmm. They have Peter Parker has to figure out how to refix him being a secret identity person. He also has to deal with Doc Ock, potentially a bunch of other villains that we don't know. And then on top of that, we know Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man is in it. We know Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man is in it because Tom Holland leaked that. Tom Holland leaked it. He accidentally leaked it in an Instagram.
Tom Holland is a liar.
Okay, unless he's a liar and all his... Well, see, the thing is, Tom Holland has a past of spoiling things.
Yeah.
Along with Mark Ruffalo, they're good at spoiling things, which keeps them not talking. Tom Holland posted a picture of him, Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, and Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man dressed in their suits on set and saying, the team is back together. And then he got in trouble for posting that. So that was... Disney tried to expunge that from the internet as best as possible, but that did happen. So we know at least they were there at some point. So potentially those other 2 Spider-Man are in it. So there's so many characters that have to, fit into this movie. And now we're throwing Venom into it as well. Like, how much screen time are these people going to get? On top of this, my rant's not done yet. Spider-Man is significantly stronger than Venom. The Venom that we know in these 2 movies is not even close to how strong Spider-Man is, in my opinion. I think Spider-Man's significantly stronger than Venom. Well, what are your thoughts?
The problem with Venom in this series is that Venom did not encounter Peter Parker first. The reason why Venom is so much stronger than Spider-Man is because in traditional Spider-Man lore, Venom gets on Peter Parker first. He absorbs Peter Parker's powers, which makes Peter Parker not able to sense Venom when Venom's coming after him because they share the same spider sense. So like he can't sense himself. You know what I mean? So Venom is essentially cloaked from Peter Parker.
But he's not right. He's not right now. The only thing
he's not right now. So I don't know like how they're gonna like play that. But the way they introduced it in Venom 2 was interesting. I feel like it's tied to Loki because the news report that's playing on the TV is the same one we hear at the end of Far From Home. So like it's not Doctor Strange's spell that's made this happen. It's Loki and Kang the Conqueror being killed and the timeline fracturing and variants being allowed alternate timelines.
Well, that is totally not what I thought happened at all.
I think that's what happened.
No. At the end of Far From Home, J. Jonah Jameson is saying that Peter Parker is Spider-Man, and I think they just were teleported.
This was teleported to that moment because of Loki.
You think it's because of Loki?
The spell hasn't been cast yet because this is the same report we're hearing at the end of Far From Home. This is
because the time doesn't match up from the Doctor Strange spell.
It's not there yet.
I didn't see that.
These end credit scenes of Spider-Man and Venom are happening simultaneously.
Yeah, the end of Far From Home, when Spider-Man's getting exposed is exactly the point where Venom's brought in.
So that means it's not Doctor Strange.
So that means the Doctor Strange spell hasn't happened yet.
That means it is Loki and Kang the Conqueror being killed. And this is the moment. So these 3 points in time tell us that the Loki series is happening now. Like the end of that is when this all happens, when Kang the Conqueror dies.
That's interesting. Now, do you think we're getting a little bit too nitpicky, or you think we got it? I mean, that has to be it. Unless we're getting too nitpicky, what you just said, and I agree with it, has to be what's happening.
Unless he's like getting like a month-old news report. I don't know why that would be played on the news a month later.
Well, yeah, there is, why I think which would run into the territory if we're getting a little bit too nitpicky here.
But the thing is, I mean, in the trailer, time has passed because he's been fed up with being known he's Spider-Man for long enough to go ask Doctor Strange to change the timeline. So, I mean, it's not like that thing happens and an hour later he goes and casts a spell.
Okay.
There's obviously days or weeks or months or
before he gets with Doctor Strange
in between the ending of No Way Home and when stuff in at the end of they all have home in the title at the end of Far From Home and then No Way Home. There's some time in between there. So like if Eddie Brock is watching the news, I would assume it's happening at the end of Far From Home. Because otherwise, that news report, if it's happening after the Doctor Strange cast the spell, well, it couldn't happen after the end, because why would he know he's Spider-Man?
Yeah, there's a lot going on here. There's a lot to unpack here.
If the spell's already been cast, then it didn't work. Then it didn't work.
Keep it going, David. I think you just wrote the new Spider-Man movie.
Then it didn't work. If the spell's been cast, it didn't work, because they're talking about Peter Parker being Spider-Man, and they're showing it on the news. So the spell hasn't been cast yet. It can't be.
Yeah, it couldn't have been cast yet. So it had the only other option is now that Loki's like in control of like time.
The Loki,
essentially.
The Loki thing happened. So
so the Loki TV show has happened.
Yes.
Loki's now in control of whatever the heck's going on with the TVA.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Well, no, it's a new Kang, because at the TVA you saw the three.
Yeah, there's another Kang.
You saw the 3 statues of the aliens that Kang set up, and then now it's just a single statue of just Kang as Kang the Conqueror. So like the other Loki's already dead or been cast out. Yeah, so it's really cool. Like we're coming back to our first podcast, Loki. Our first episode.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, this is like a time thing.
We're tying back into episode.
And now we're gonna tie back into it again when we go see Spider-Man, whatever the heck the movie is, in 2 months.
Yes, Spider-Man No Way Home.
That won't be the next podcast, though, as far as I know.
Next time, hopefully, we'll be getting into Lower Deck season 2. Hopefully, that'll be done, so we can talk about that next time.
Yeah, but I mean that is time that we have time to get there. Mm-hmm. We only have we have time to get there.
Mm-hmm.
But that's I think we pretty much. Now you don't need to see the movie if you really don't have to. We pretty much told you exactly what the movie's about.
Happening. But that's
the only things we didn't tell you were the jokes that we think you should see.
Yeah, I mean the sad thing is that like I didn't really like Spider-Man Far From Home. The best part was that after credits thing of him getting revealed, and you got J.K. Simmons reprising the role of J. Jonah Jameson. That was
Which is fantastic.
That was the best part of Spider-Man Far From Home, and this end credit scene where we see Venom and being put into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, that is by far the best part of this movie. That hopefully means that negotiations between Sony and Disney are going well, because there was rumors that the No Way Home was going to be the last time we saw Tom Holland as Spider-Man. But if they're putting Venom into it, it feels like that's a longer, a longer.
They're going to continue it on. What does? I mean, we might just be overanalyzing, and Venom might still not he just might not be in the movie, and that's just the setup for the next Venom movie or the next Spider-Man movie.
I think it's more the setup for the next Spider-Man movie after this.
The one that's going to be after this one in 2 months.
It's probably too much to put him into this one, but it's set up for something in the future. So that's why I'm thinking it's too big to be.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in this. We're at least from what the trailer seems, we're borderline like Captain America Civil War type of thing, where there were so many characters in it.
Yeah,
there was a lot of stuff going on.
I kind of hope Venom isn't in No Way Home, because
no, I don't want him to be either.
It's probably going to be too much, but the fact that they're showing them linking the universes, I'm really hoping that means that the deal between Disney and Sony is like set in stone for like a decade or more, so that we can keep using Tom Holland as Spider-Man. We can get Venom in the MCU, put Venom in the new Avengers, like do all this stuff, and then you could do solo Venom movies. Sony can do their own solo Venom movies, and then they can use Venom in the MCU whenever they want. Like this joint custody stuff.
Well, it's not a joint custody thing. Sony owns TV and movie rights for Spider-Man and all characters. Marvel owns comic book rights to Spider-Man.
Well, it's joint custody because Sony's letting
Sony's letting it happen. I would imagine no matter what the contract is, Sony could just pull out if Disney's being a dick again.
Sony could pull out, but I feel like this hopefully means that that the negotiations are going well enough, and that there is a multi-year contract for these characters to be used in the MCU. Because I don't know why they would do it otherwise. Like, why would you tease this and then never do a movie where Venom's in the MCU? You know what I mean? Like, this, I hope, has got to be bigger than just a tease. Because if it's just a tease,
I would like
that. That would be infuriating.
We'll see. I mean, so really, we're at the mercy of Sony and Disney trying to figure their stuff out.
But hopefully, it's already figured out. That's what I'm saying. Like, if this is a tease now, hopefully stuff is set in stone for at least a decade, so that they can work with these characters in the existing stuff as it is.
Well, it doesn't have to be a decade. Tom Holland's not going to be playing Spider-Man for another 10 years. He's probably got 2 movies in him at most left before he's probably not going to be Tom Holland Spider-Man anymore. I mean, how long do you keep these people around for?
He's still in high school. I mean, why not?
Yeah, but Tom Holland isn't in high school. Tom Holland's my age.
I understand that, but I mean, he still looks like a kid. He can pull it off, and put Spider-Man in college. I mean, like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man skipped directly.
They
to
were
Spider-Man
in college.
Yeah, in the first movie, they went from high school to college in the first movie, so like it was fine. So I mean, like also because Tobey Maguire was too old to reasonably pull off a high school student for like 3 movies, so they just like put him into college immediately, basically. So,
yeah, pretty
I mean,
much.
That's fine. I mean, like I think he can play the character as long as he wants to, as long as they let him.
Oh, they let him do it.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, we'll just have to see what happens. We're pretty deep into speculative territory here.
I mean, sure, but I mean, I'm pretty sure he has specifically said that he will play Spider-Man as long as he can. So
Tom Holland?
I think
Tom Holland did say that. He said he'll play Spider-Man as long as he's allowed to.
Yeah, so I mean, like, I don't see that being a problem. I mean,
he loves playing Spider-Man.
Yeah, so I think that's great. I think that's gonna be.
Yeah, that is great because Tom Holland is also a good Spider-Man.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm really hoping stuff will work out. I'm really excited for what they're going to be doing. I hope it's not just a tease, and I hope the tease means stuff is laid out and stuff is set in stone, and there's joint custody going on for a number of years.
Sure, I agree.
That's my hope. So I mean, again, that last little bit in the last 2 Spider-Man verse movies have been like the best parts of the movie. Let's hope Far From Home is absolutely stunning, and I'm super pumped for it because I love Doctor Strange. So Doctor Strange being
I like Spider-Man. I'm a big Spider-Man fan, so too, I'm ready for it.
I really didn't like Far From Home, so like I'm a little bit worried. But having Doctor Strange there, I love Benedict Cumberbatch. He's fantastic.
Doctor Strange is fantastic. His movie was fantastic. We'll just have to see where we go.
Can't wait for more.
And hopefully now that we're on Spider-Man, which is one of my favorite superheroes, hopefully just, side note that we don't have to go into, just make the Flash movie good, because like Flash is also my favorite. Those 2 are my favorites. So like, don't make the Flash movie bad.
What are the actual chances of the Flash being good?
We don't have to talk about it right now.
I'm guessing they're pretty low.
Yeah, Flashpoint is not where you should start.
Considering Wonder Woman, it's way too early for Flashpoint. Flashpoint should be like 10 movies in, and they're like 5 movies in, and not
they haven't even established a lot of the characters really yet.
Yeah, they haven't even established the Flash as a character except for Justice League.
I mean, I don't know what people know about the Flash on a normal basis. Flash, I know the most about of any comic book character, so I understand everything about him. But is it common now? Like, we know it's common knowledge that Spider-Man and Aunt May and Uncle Ben died. We know that's common knowledge. Everybody knows that if you're talking about comics. But for Flash, do people know Flash's, like, how Flash became the Flash? Does everybody just know that, or no?
It depends how many people watch the CW Flash show. And apparently a lot, because that thing's gone on for way too many seasons.
Well, yeah, it got bad after like 2 seasons, which is why
it was good early on.
Yeah, the first 2 seasons were very good.
Yeah.
After that, it was not good anymore because they used all their strongest villains right at the start. And now I stopped watching it, but I know the villain is just like a dude that has like, he's just a little bit stronger than a normal human.
I can also run fast.
Well, those are the only people that can do. Speedsters are the only people that can fight the Flash. I side note here, now that we're going on this Flash tangent that I shouldn't have started. But you and me, I know, both know Death Battle. And, regardless of if we agree with what happens in Death Battles or not, they just did the Reverse Flash versus Goku Black, which is a clone of Goku. And the Reverse Flash absolutely annihilated Goku Black because he's so fast. Everything's just because they're so fast, they could just do whatever they want. And I don't think there is many characters that have ever been created that can beat the Flash in a fight.
But the thing is,
I don't think there is.
Teleporter, Goku can teleport.
It doesn't matter.
That's instantaneous. That's instantaneous travel.
It doesn't matter.
If you're running fast, if you're so fast, that means some time has to take place.
Well, see, here's where
It may not be perceptual, but when you're teleporting, you are in at point A and then you're in point B. There is no time in between.
Yeah, but man, like these Flash comics, they get real like there's the Reverse Flash, for instance, has one comic book series where he vibrates. That's how they like do their thing. Have you seen the first season, right? So you've seen the Reverse Flash. They vibrate to like do stuff and go through walls and stuff. The Reverse Flash vibrated at a certain frequency where he destroyed the entire universe. He just stood there and vibrated and destroyed the entire universe because he was vibrating. So it's like there's like these characters are extremely strong. And, you know, just continuing on with the Verse Flash a little bit, Goku Black is fast and he has instant transmission. You know, he's a couple million times faster than the speed of light, say. The Reverse Flash is like trillions to the power of like a trillion faster than the speed of light. So it's like there's a significant difference in speed here. So instant teleporting doesn't even matter at that point.
That's the thing. Like in that battle, as soon as someone reaches a certain speed threshold, then
you
they
can't
just automatically win. Like it's so annoying.
Going fast, people don't realize going fast is so powerful. How do you hit anything? How do you even see these things? Like the fight's over before you can even register that something has happened. Mostly when you're that fast.
But also when you're moving that fast, a single punch would just annihilate the entire planet.
Well, yeah, that's why they're so strong, because just going fast just like destroys everything.
Yeah.
Like even if you take like a hair on top of my head and make it go the speed of light, it's going to like kill anything that it touches.
Well, that's the thing.
If it can, it would disintegrate probably, and just.
But it also would destroy the entire.
Destroyed.
Accelerating to the first speed of light would kill everything, because if you accelerate something to the speed of light, it'll become infinite mass. So it'll basically the one thing will just destroy everything, because it'll just crush everything in the universe.
Yeah, and that's only one times the speed of light.
So
now these things are going trillions and trillions and trillions faster than the speed of light.
Faster than the speed of light.
In comic books, you can. Okay. And we don't know yet if we can't go faster than the speed of light. We don't know that yet.
Well, warp drive doesn't accelerate you to the speed of light. Warp drive literally warps space around you so that you're just moving. You're moving the space, and that can act like it's faster than the speed of light, depending on how fast you can manipulate the space in front of you and the space behind you.
Okay, so now we're getting to. So now we're getting on our third tangent here. Is light travel, warp drive. Now,
all this has a lot to do with Venom and the MCU.
It has a lot to do with Venom. Venom is very closely associated with the speed of light travel in real life.
We're not gonna like explain why. We think you should understand why.
Yeah, you guys should just be following along here. Yeah, we're all in the same place here. We all understand what's going on.
That's what we call a rabbit hole or a black hole or tangents. Yeah, because that's
I mean. So my understanding is if you go to the speed of light,
it's Loki's fault.
Everything we're talking about is Loki has changed the time stream where we're variants and we're just messing everything up.
I don't know how many times the stream has changed during this podcast. At least 3 times we've become variants of ourselves talking about different things.
We're just all over the place sometimes, and that's okay.
Yeah, it happens. Discussions go where they want. They're organic like that.
Yeah.
I have my discussions only organic.
Only organic. They taste the best that way.
Organic symbiote sexuals. Ooh.
Well,
on that
note, we covered a lot. I think this was our best explanation of what we've watched yet. I think this was the best review of Venom that you're going to get online. Nobody's going to do it better than this. This is it. Come to us. We'll tell you everything you need to know about the movie. The only thing we will not spoil is the only thing that we think you should see. Everything else, I'm sorry, you have now been spoiled.
But this is Synthaholics. This is what we do. There's no point in talking about it if we can't spoil it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's true.
Well, thank you all so much for hanging out and listening. Live long and prosper, one and all.
Follow us on TikTok
and Twitter and Facebook.
Well, I'm
not on TikTok, but
all right, David, you need to take it. You need to take care of all that stuff because I don't have any of that.
You're gonna
if I make it
TikTok.
That's a Fortnite thing.
Is that how?
It's a Fortnite thing.
Oh,
Is that who you get on TikTok?
Yeah,
you do the floss and then you do the floss dance from Fortnite and TikTok automatically gets installed onto your phone.
Oh no. That's cursed.
You're done now.
Oh no. TikTok's downloading right now, apparently. I don't know. I have to delete that soon.
You've logged in and now China has your information.
China has my info.
All right, everyone. Enjoy your lives, and we'll see you next time. We're going to attempt to talk about Lower Decks Season 2. I don't know if it's done. I don't know if that was the plan. We were going to talk about it when it's done or what. Dune is in there, so we will have Dune next time as well.
Not next time as well. We'll be talking about Dune eventually, because Dune's late October.
Oh, it is? I thought it comes out next week.
James Bond comes out next week.
Okay, I'm just confused. Don't listen to me. We're supposed to be doing Lower Decks.
Lower Decks next time, and then Dune probably if it falls on the release schedule.
I also want to do the Apple show Foundation. I would like to do that as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, maybe we could put that in the pipeline. Then, we're getting into November.
Wheel of Time.
Wheel of Time. Spider-Man.
Coming out. Yeah.
There's going to be a lot. I don't know how we're going to have to figure something out because having it. Yeah. Okay. So this was something that we're going to have to talk about, I think, but for at least for the next 2 months, we're going to have to see, because I don't think going every other week is going to be enough. There's too much stuff coming out.
Yeah, we might have to up the ante maybe, but
we'll see what happens. We'll play it out.
We'll see how it goes. Well,
you might get more of us.
See you guys. Until next time.